What's up, world? Serge here from Toronto, Canada, and this is day 6 of me participating in the world's largest hackathon powered by Bolt. Let's see where we're at. There's 16 days and 20 hours left. There's 98,000 participants. And today was very special. Today was Bolt's first newscast live stream, and I was lucky and privileged enough to be one of the builder highlights for that. So if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Probably going to link it somewhere depending on where you're watching this. There's an amazing conversation with Eric. Really, really cool experience. There was another builder, Zhang, who did an amazing job with her project. I'm really excited to see what everyone is building throughout this process. I think Eric said there was already 1,000 submissions in the hackathon, so that's going to be a lot of judging. But what are we doing today? Today we are cooking, and we're cooking with voice. Let's dig in. So I have my app. This is mirroring of my phone. But what I wanted to do is solve for, once you have your groceries and like your inventory set up, and you're planning your meals and you're ready to cook, like what I do now is I go to ChatGPT and I tell it, hey, this is what I have. What can I make with this? And it cooks up something for me. And it hasn't been bad. I haven't tried the voice feature of ChatGPT while doing that. But I figured if I'm building an inventory tracker and I have my meal plans here, like we should have a cooking assistant in here as well. And so for meal plans, whichever one you pick, again, this is just mock data for now. It'll be exciting to actually connect all of this in the future. But I wanted to make sure that the piece that's important, which is connecting 11 labs, was actually working. And so this is a page for a recipe. You can see there is some steps here, and you can start cooking with AI. I'm cooking with AI, vibe coding. You will be able to cook steaks and grilled chicken with vegetables with AI as well. Everybody can cook. And so this is the view that's going to be here. The only thing is I'm actually going to switch to my phone here. And what we're going to do is, we're still on the same page, but let's see how this goes. So it's asking for my microphone.
Hey Sergi, ready to cook some delicious grilled chicken with vegetables? This easy recipe has 7 steps and takes about 15 minutes prep, plus 25 minutes cooking time. Perfect for your healthy eating journey. I'll guide you through every step, set timers, and help with any questions. What would you like to start with?
Let's get to it.
Great. First, we need to preheat your grill or grill pan to medium-high heat. This will take about 5 minutes. I can set a timer for you. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please. And let's go to the next step right away.
All right, I've set a timer for 5 minutes for preheating. While that's going, let's move on to step 2. Season the chicken breasts with garlic powder, paprika, salt, and pepper on both sides. This should take about 3 minutes. Let me know when you're done, chef.
Oh, chef. Yes, chef. Okay. So yeah, there's a timer feature. There is different steps, and you just kind of talk to it. You don't need to hold it in your hands. This is going to be really awesome if it works the way that I want it to work. And what makes this all possible is 11 labs. I'm not going to get through kind of the setup in much detail. Shout out Thor, who has done an amazing job of posting a video about setting this all up in an expo environment. Yeah, go watch that. I won't do it as much justice as he did. But what I will show you is my setup for this specific cooking agent. And so in my 11 Labs dashboard, I am in conversational AI. You can see I have one agent here. You can see my call history, chat history. But it's, I think they call it call history because you're supposed to be kind of calling it. There's also Twilio integration where you can actually call a phone number and have a conversation with conversational AI. But how is mine set up? Well, super simple. We get an easy to use dashboard where I can set it up in a default language. I can also add additional languages. So at some point, if this app blows up, we will be able to support any language that 11 Labs supports. You get this first message here. You get these variables. So this was exactly what you heard. Then you give it a big system prompt, or however big you want it to be, but essentially providing it as much context as you can. And you can see all these variables are being used here. You do set up the default variables in here just because you'll be able to test the AI agent with these variables, which is really cool. So you can kind of like fine tune it without having to go kind of end to end. I think this is a really good experience here. We pick up an LLM. I am using Gemini 2. I thought I was using 2.5 Flash. Interesting. But I believe this is the best option you can go for right now. Deterministic, I wanted to not be too creative when it comes to specific recipes. I think there's going to be a different mode where you can just like freestyle things where it's not following a recipe and you're just kind of like vibe cooking. What? Maybe. Yeah, you can also add a knowledge base. So I'll be able to dump websites, PDFs, everything there is to know about being an excellent chef. So this is pretty freaking awesome. And these are the tools that you can set up. So I have a couple tools. So you heard it ask if I want to set a timer. So it understands like you're literally giving it prompts to be like set cooking timer for a specified duration. You get parameters. And yeah, how this looks in code, if we were to take a look at it real quick, I have this ID page, which is essentially like one of those recipe screens. And then if you see show cooking AI, so that's me clicking the button, you mount this cooking AI DOM component. And what I'm doing is I'm passing it my agent ID from my environment variables. And let's take a look at what's going on inside here. We're using use conversation from 11 Labs React, which is their SDK package. Now, we have to use DOM here because this actually creates a web view in the app, and the 11 Labs React package needs an HTTPS connection. And so, yeah, I don't think there is like a fully React Native way to do this, but as you saw in the video, like it was pretty fluid and didn't really cause any issues. I'm doing some, this is on message. This is from use conversation. And what happens is I will get like the messages that are spoken in text form. And what I want to make sure is that when you're looking at the screen, the steps of that you're on is like the active step. So you can glance over at it as well. You don't have to kind of like talk to it the whole time. So I'm just doing some rejects here to figure out which step it needs to be on. And then you start the session, and that is where you pass in the agent ID and the dynamic variables that you saw. I put placeholders in on 11 Labs. This is where I'm filling in the actual information that it will need and the tools as well. So if we look at like set timer tool, it will literally do a timer. So it'll be real, like it won't be the agent's representation. Like this will actually create a timer. Convert temperatures. Again, this is like what's 250 Fahrenheit in Celsius. Suggest substitutions. This is just a small little, like I wanted to play around with it, but you can see how this can be also probably using a separate API that will check substitutions given an ingredient that will be more extensive than this. Really excited about all of this coming together. And again, next steps will be putting it all together, using the inventory, generating recipes. I want to play around with video and image generation so that like these recipes will have some visual components to them. And yeah, this is all coming together slowly but surely. So excited to keep going, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.